Hey everybody, so we're back after break, and the goal is to try to get through the rest of this MCAS session from the spring 2019 before the end of the week, because we're running out of time. So yeah, that's the goal. So we're going to start with number 10. If you look at the link here, there should be a link for you to click on that brings you to the digital version of the test, and the idea is that you take the digital version and then you follow along, check your answer, and write on the PDF that's there as well. Although if you're one of my students, you should have a printed out copy of this packet. Okay? All right, so hopefully you will have already tried this. If not, that's fine too. All right, number 10. A waiter recorded the amount of money he earned in tips each weekday for a 2-week period. His data are shown in this table. Interesting. That data is shown. So we have a 5-day table here. We have week 1, and in each day is shown the value of tips that this waiter received. Okay, so you can see it right here. Okay, and then we have 4 statements. It's asking us which statement about the data in the table is true. So that means one of them is true and the rest are false. Okay, let me zoom in a little more. Okay, so it means 3 of these statements are false. Let's give a quick look through here. The median and range for week 1 are equal to the median and range for week 2. So this is asking us about median and range, okay. B, the median and mode for week 1 are equal to the median mode, all right. So again, median's a repeat one, but mode's different. The mean and median for week 1 are equal to the mean and median. So now we're talking about mean and median. And the last one, the mean and range for week 1 are equal to the mean and range. So these are asking us about what we call measures of central tendency and the range. Okay, so mean, median, mode, and range, which we should all know how to find. If not, this will be a recap. Okay, now the way I solved this, because I did this one earlier, is I basically calculated the mean, median, mode, and range for both weeks. And then I was able to very easily go through these and find out which one was true and which of these were false. Okay, so I think that, in my opinion, I think that's the easiest way to do this. Okay, so we'll go ahead and calculate all those. So we'll go ahead and find the median first, I guess. So the median, actually I'll put it over here, I guess. So median, extend this table here. Range, we'll go mode, and the mean. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the median and the range. So in order to find the median, you need the middle number. So we're going to put these numbers in order from lowest to highest. So for week 1, it's right here. So week 1, so lowest that, so 25, 44, 48, 63, and 75. These are actually in order from lowest to highest. I think these are too. Yeah, they are. So week 2, it's going to be 35, 35, 48, 62, and 75. Okay, so the middle number here is going to be 48, and the middle number here is going to be 48. So they have the same median. So this is week 1, so 48 and 48. That's interesting. Okay. The range is the highest minus the lowest. So our highest for week 1 is 75, the lowest is 25. So the range is going to be, for week 1, 75 take away 25, which is 50. So our range for week 1 is 50. And then for week 2, we're going to go 75 take away 35. And that's going to be 40. So the range here is 40. Okay, so we have those calculated. The median and range for week 1 are equal. No, they're not, because the range is different. So the median is the same. The range is not, so that one's out. So we still need to figure out the mean and the mode. Okay, so the mode's a pretty easy one. The mode is the number that happens the most often. So there's no mode for week 1 because there is not a number that repeats, so there's no mode. And then for week 2, the mode would be 35 because it happens twice and no other number repeats, so that's 35. So the modes are not equal either. So the median is the same, but the mode is not. So B is out as well. Okay, so now we're down to mean, median, and mean and range. Okay. So we need to know what the mean is. That's the last one we have to do. So in order to find the mean, which is basically the mean is the average. So you add up all the numbers and you divide by how many numbers there are, and that'll give you the average or the mean. Okay, so let's go ahead and list these out. So we're gonna have 75, 63, 48, 44, and 25. Now this would not be you would not have a calculator for this, so this is how I would solve this. I would write these all out. This is week 1. So 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 plus 8 is 16, 16 plus 4 is 20, 20 plus 5 is 25. So 5 here, carry the 2. 2 plus 7 is 9, 9 plus 6 is 15, 15 plus 4 is 19, 19 plus 4 is 23, 23 plus 2 is 25. So this total is 255. Right? If you divide that by 5, because that's how many numbers there are, right? There's 5 numbers. You're going to get, what, 51? 25. Bring down the 5. Yeah, 51. So the mean for week 1 is 51. Okay? So now let's do week 2. So we're going to list these out. So 35, 35, 48, 62, and 75. Okay. So 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 8 is 18, plus 2 is 20, plus 5 is 25. Carry the 2. 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 3 is 8, plus 4 is 12, plus 6 is 18, plus 7 is 25. So look at this, it's actually 255, which means it's going to be the same thing, because we're dividing by the same number of days. So they do have the same mean. Okay, so it looks like the mean and the median, oops, I'm out of screen here. The mean and the median are the same. So mean and median are the sequel, yep, they are. And then mean and range, no, the range is different. So C is the correct answer. So for this problem, you need to be able to calculate the mean, the median, the mode, and the range, okay? Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to solve this. But again, look at this problem, how I did it. I wrote a lot of stuff down. So this is where you're using the scrap paper. I think I say that in every single video because I just want to reiterate it. Always use the scrap paper they give you. You're also going to have access to a dry erase marker, but I think you should really make sure you're transcribing this stuff. It's really important. All right, let's look at number 11. Okay, number 11. So, yeah, okay, here we go. So, line segment KL, I'll zoom in a little more. Line segment KL is shown on this coordinate plane. So we have the two endpoints of a line segment, K and L. What are the coordinates of the midpoint of the line segment KL? So we're looking for the midpoint. We're looking for the point that lies in between these two endpoints. Now there's two ways of solving this. One is with a midpoint formula. The other is to calculate the rate of change from these 2 points and just meet halfway. It's a little hard to do that without the grid points, without the lines rather. You can do it calculating it that way, but I think it's easier just to use the midpoint formula. And the midpoint formula is just literally the averages of the x's and the averages of the y's. Now this formula is not given to you, but if you don't remember it, just remember it's what would be in between. So you would just find the mean of the x's and the mean of the y's. So I'm going to write the formula for you either way though. So midpoint is going to be x1 plus x2 over 2, and that's the x value. And then y1 plus y2 over 2, and that's the y value, okay? So let's go ahead and assign these variables. This is going to be x1, y1, and this is x2, y2. So we're going to have negative 3 plus 2 over 2, and then 5 plus negative 3 over 2. Okay? So negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1, so we have negative 1 half. Excuse me, negative 1 half. And then 5 plus negative 3 is 2 over 2, which is 1, so negative 1 half, comma 1. Okay? And that's it. It's really that straightforward, so it'd be letter B. Okay? So again, if you don't remember the formula, just remember it's halfway. So if you just found the average of negative 3 and 2, it would actually give you B because it's the only one with negative 1 half as the x value. Same here, if you know the halfway point between 5 and negative 3 is 1, then that's enough to find it. Okay? All right, number 12. I believe this is a two-parter. Yeah, it is. Okay. This is the probability problem. Okay. So this question has two parts. Shayla and Carlos each have a bag that contains 5 green marbles, 5 red marbles, and 10 yellow marbles. The marbles are all the same size and shape. Shayla will select 2 marbles from her bag at random. she will not return the first bag to the bag before. So okay, so she takes a ball out of the bag, marble out of the bag, and does not replace it. Which expression represents the probability that Shayla will select 2 red marbles? Okay, so let's, again, there's a single bag, right? And in that bag, let me draw this. So here's the bag, right? There's 5 green, there's 5 red, and there's 10 yellow. So there's 20 total marbles in there, right? 5 green, 5 red, 10 yellow. Okay, straightforward. Shayla's going to pick 2 of them out of there at random, and she's not replacing it. When she takes one out, there'll be something left over. There'll be, if she takes one out, there'll be 19 left, right? If she takes the second one out, there'll be 18 left. We know that. Okay. We want to know that what's the probability that she was going to pick 2 red in a row, right? So the way you do this is you look at the desired result over the total options, right? So for example, and this is on the first pull. Okay, so on the first pull, how many marbles are in there? Well, there's 20, right? That's the total number of marbles. And we're looking for the red, right? So it's red over total at this point, because that's the desired result. We want a red. There's 5 red, so it's 5 out of 20, right? And then we would assume that happens, right? And we're asking what's the probability of the second marble also being a red, and then not replacing it, right? So, well, we know if we don't replace it, there's only going to be 19 left. And we're also assuming that she successfully took a red marble out. So instead of 5 red marbles, there would only be 4 left, right? So in order to find the probability of that happening, both of those instances, you multiply these 2 probabilities together, and that's how you find that probability, which is actually letter A in this case. So we're going to go ahead and select A. Okay. Okay. Here, part B. Carlos will select 2 marbles from his bag at random. He will not return the first marble. Okay, so similar to the first example. The first marble Carlos selects will not be yellow. Okay. What is the probability that the second marble he selects will be yellow? Write your answer as a fraction. Okay. So we have to assume the first one's not yellow. Okay, so let's look again. So there's 5 green, 5 red, and 10 yellow. So the first one's not yellow, so it's going to be one of these. Okay. And then we want to know what's the probability the second one will be yellow. Okay, so first of all, he takes one out. That means there's 19 left, right? And it was not yellow, right? So how many yellow are left? If he didn't take a yellow the first time, it means there's still 10 yellow out there, right? That's the desired result, 10, but there's only 19 this time. He took either a red or a green last time. So it's 10 over 19, and that's it, okay? So these can be tricky if you haven't had practice these. I hope that helps, because they can be a little tricky if you're not used to doing. Excuse me, not used to doing those. Okay, number 13. So 13 is another interesting one. I think this will be the last one we do before, because I want to do the number 14 as a separate video because it's a 4-parter. So what are the solutions to this equation? They give us a quadratic equation, x squared plus 7x plus 12 equals 0, and then they give us a bunch of potential answers. So there's 2 ways you can solve this, all right? You can solve this by factoring, and you can also solve it by plugging in. So for many of you, Algebra 1 was interrupted last year because of COVID, so I guarantee most of you either didn't really get a chance to learn factoring, or if you did, you probably forgot most of it. So if you know how to factor it, go for it. I'll do that at the end of this example. But if you don't know how to factor it, it's okay. It's not the end of the world, because everybody here knows how to evaluate. So I'm going to show you a way to do this. We're just going to plug these numbers in, and if we get a true result for both of them, then we know it's the solution. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with D. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and plug in 3 for x. So we're going to say 3 squared plus 7 times 3 plus 12 equals 0. So 3 squared is 9. 7 times 3 is 21. Plus 12, 0. 9 plus 21 is 30. 30 plus 12. See, we can already tell this will be false. So 42, why did I write that? Sorry. 42 equals 0. Nope, that's false. So that one's out, because it would have to be a true statement. If you plug in 4, same thing's going to happen. Let's try C. So 2 squared, what did I do there? 2 squared plus 7 times 2 plus 12 equals 0. 2 squared is 4, plus 14, because 7 times 2 is 14. I know I'm kind of going out of order there. I should wait another step to multiply, but I'm trying to save room. 4 plus 14 is 18, plus 12 is 30, and that is not equal to 0, so that's going to be false as well. Okay, let's try B. So negative 2, make sure that that negative sign is in the parentheses, squared, plus 7 times negative 2, plus 12 equals 0. So negative 2 squared is 4. 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. Plus 12 equals 0. 4 minus 14 is negative 10. And negative 10 plus 12 is 2. And 2 does not equal 0. So B is it better be A. So negative 3 squared plus 7 times negative 3 plus 12 equals 0. And then negative 3 squared is 9. And then 7 times negative 3 is negative 21. Plus 12 equals 0. 9 take away 21 is negative 12. And negative 12 plus 12 is 0. So 0 equals 0. That's true. And negative 4, just take my word for it, works. we can do it, but there's no need to. It's A. I want to show you how we would factor that. So we'd have a binomial times a binomial, right? So we look for the factors of 12 that have a sum of 7, because these are positive. So factors of 12 would be 4 and 3. And yeah, they add up 7, so 4 and 3. Okay, 4 times 3 is 12. 3 plus, yeah, that works. And then in order for this to work, one of these would have to be equal 0, so it would be negative 3 and negative 4, because if one of these parentheses equals 0, then the whole thing equals 0. So yeah, anyway, it's much faster, I think, for most of us if we just plug in, not plug it, yeah, if we plug it in and evaluate, okay? If you feel really comfortable with factoring, go for it. Or if somebody was pressed for time, but time should not be an issue since you guys basically have a limited time to take this test during the day. You have the whole day to do it. So stick to the plugging in. It'll take longer, but as long as you show your work like here, you should be fine. Okay. I think that's going to be it. Yeah, we're going to wait to do, this is number 14. I'll do another video next for 14, but I want to have that be a separate video. Hopefully that was helpful, guys. Let me know. Thanks.